What's up, guys? Not as nice of a day as we have had recently, but a good day nonetheless. And a really good day due to the fact that I have indeed been sober now for 3 days. This is day 4, or day 36, 7, 8, 39. 39 of this challenge, this transformation. I really, honestly, look, it's getting easier. This morning I've woken up really fatigued. I've got a hell of a lot of brain fog. But zero anxiety. In fact, that nervous energy that happens when you're withdrawing from alcohol has kind of been transformed into an excitement, or at least in the short term, an excitement for today and tomorrow and the weekend. I have woken up this morning without wanting a drink. And that is a success. So also what I've done this morning is continue in the fashion I have been the last few days, and that's editing. So I've edited another 4 videos this morning. It's taken about a couple of hours. The video will probably take about 15 minutes to shoot, but then editing on the back end takes at least twice as long, due to the fact that I am editing out all the mistakes I made. No reaction video ever goes completely smoothly, unfortunately. And this year I've put in my best effort to not only edit out the mistakes, but also edit out the pauses. So if anyone is interested in watching Rugby Player Reacts to the top 100 NFL players of 2023, the series will be dropped for the public relatively soon. And just know that at the moment, I'm putting in the work on the back end to make that happen. Because as much as, when I'm in the thick of like a bender, right? When I'm drinking every day, my confidence takes a massive hit. In fact, a lot of the time it's non-existent, unless I've been drinking. And, it's just so nice to feel today. It's so nice to actually have a little bit of that confidence, that self-confidence come back. Actually enjoying watching my own content. Somewhat. I'd love for someone else to be editing for me, but that's simply not within the budget. So it's actually really nice to just be focused on that goal of producing this content for my channel, but not having that voice in my head that second guesses myself. I'm going to do this. I've looked in the mirror this morning and I feel okay with myself, and what that means is that when I sit down and do some editing and have to watch myself back, it's actually not the worst thing in the world. So I've enjoyed this morning. I'm just saving those videos now. I'll upload them on the channel, and we'll move on with the day. So it's about 11 o'clock. I was just about to look at my watch, but I actually took it off. I took it off during my workout yesterday because whilst I was warming up on the spin bike, I continuously looked at my watch. I continuously monitored my heart rate, because my heart rate and my heart and the thought of what all of this alcohol has done to my heart, as far as damage, as far as inching me closer and closer, each and every standard drink that I consume towards a heart attack. That's literally how I think. It's very worrying, especially those first couple of days when I get back in the gym and I raise my heart rate. It's extremely worrying for me. It knocks my confidence, and I'll either, if I do feel like my heart is just getting too out of control, I will stop the workout, I'll cut it short, and I'll leave. So yesterday, being that I just knew I had to do this, I was 3 days off the piss. I probably wasn't going to have a heart attack, even if I did wholeheartedly believe that. And so what I had to do in the first 5 minutes of the workout is take my watch off. I had to take it off, put it in my bag, and just continue. And it helped. I wouldn't say that I was guaranteed to leave the workout early or anything like that, but it was certainly going to be a distraction. And it's an unreasonable distraction. I don't need that. But in saying that, it would have been nice to track my resting heart rate yesterday while sleeping. I haven't got that measurable, but I feel like, being that I didn't have a drink, it should have been around about that 47, 48 beats per minute mark, which makes me feel really good, makes me feel confident physically. So, like I mentioned earlier on, I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling excited about making plans for the next couple of days. And so today's plan is to finish uploading these videos. I'm going to have a shower. I'm going to get myself sorted. I do feel really, really tired, to be honest. Didn't sleep that well. Haven't been sleeping that well ever since I quit again, to be honest. So the last 3 or 4 days I've had I've been sleeping for long enough, effectively sleeping, but just waking up fatigued. And I mean, that's understandable. It's frustrating, but it's understandable. So I've got to take it easy on myself. I've got to think back to like day 12, I think, where I smashed it. I went and did a 25-kilometer trail run. And that was after being off of alcohol for 12 days. At the moment, I'm off of it for 4 days. And I'm starting to get the itch. I'm starting to get the competitive itch that makes me want to take on a challenge like that. And you know what? I think I might do it. And I think tomorrow might be the day. So as of today, I'm going to make sure I get to the gym, of course. That is one of my priorities today. That'll be about lunchtime. Hopefully I'll spend about an hour and a half there. That'll be 1:30. I do want to make it down to the rugby field today, actually. I've got my sports bag with all my rugby gear, which I haven't had whilst I'm in Alice Springs, which has been frustrating at times. No guarantees that I would have used it, but it has been frustrating not having it. So I've got everything there. I will be taking a few things back with me to Alice Springs, but for now, I'm just going to go down to the field. I've got my kicking tee, I've got a couple of rugby balls, and whenever I want to reconnect with the game that I've always loved, rugby, and I'm by myself, there's always been a way for me to do that. I've always enjoyed kicking a ball, probably more so than passing it, to be honest. So what I'm planning on doing is getting to the gym, getting my weights workout in, and then going down to the field and having a few kicks at goal. So I'll update you later on in the day, most probably down at the rugby field, hopefully. There's no reason why I shouldn't. There's no reason why I won't, because alcohol is not going to come into the picture. And the only thing that had stopped me from doing that, being that it's something I enjoy, is drinking alcohol. It's not going to happen today. I'm 95% confident of that. But I'm certainly, as these first few days have rolled on, the confidence only grows. And I say I'm 95% sure that I'm not going to have a drink today, but my belief right now is that I can't have it. I'm not looking to 90 days as being that point where I can start again, because I have started again, as you guys know, and it didn't end well. And I don't think it will end well for the rest of my life. So at the moment, my mindset is alcohol's not for me. And I've got to find alternatives to gain what alcohol gave me, which is apparently not happiness, as Alan Carr would say. No, we've been tricked into thinking that alcohol makes us happy. Alcohol makes us baseline. Alcohol makes us feel normal. Alcohol makes us feel, and look, I'm going to quote him completely here. Alcohol makes a drinker feel like a non-drinker feels all the time. And when you think about it like that, look, it's a bit wishy-washy, I'm not going to lie. It's a bit repetitive, but I will listen to it, and I will listen to it while sober, and I think that's the only way you should listen to it. And fuck, it was hard going, trying to turn that on day one. It was really hard going. My inability to concentrate was just rife. But as the days go on, I'm actually more willing to listen to it, more willing to take advice, and more willing to look at myself in the mirror. And that's a big one. So I'll see you guys later on in the day. All right, so we are almost ready for some physical activity. And speaking of physical activity, I mentioned yesterday that I would try and fish out, I think I did, at least my plan today was to try and find a couple of photos from me pretty much exactly 3 years ago, coming up to my comeback bodybuilding show. Bodybuilding was always a massive part of my life. I absolutely loved it. I gravitated to it from the moment I stepped foot in the gym at like age 18. Didn't start taking it seriously until I was about 23. Took it really seriously for the next 5 years. Probably didn't see the results that I may have wanted or expected. And so then I sort of took the foot off the gas, you could say. I wasn't training every day, and it didn't really mean too much to me if I didn't. And then here we are 5 years later. But 3 years ago, after, like I said, well, actually, come to think of it, in 2000, okay, so this is it. This is my bodybuilding journey. 18, stepped foot in the gym for the first time. Didn't have any mates that were into it at all, but I was into it, and that's the main thing, right? So I backed myself. I really enjoyed it. Moved from New Zealand to Australia at 19. Started getting involved in the gym in Alice Springs in 2010. So I was 19 still, and then that sort of took me through over the next couple of years. I had a girlfriend. I wasn't really into the gym. I was just spinning my wheels, you could say. I was getting into it, but then came the YouTube fitness community, right? Fitness industry. And in 2012, that's when I followed my first Mr. Olympia bodybuilding show. That's when I started following guys on YouTube that were working out and talking about nutrition and that type of thing. And so inevitably in 2013, I started considering doing my first show. That didn't happen until 2015. I did 2 shows and always thought, I could go back the next year or the year after that and improve on my placings, because at the end of the day, I just wasn't willing to diet hard enough to get in the shape needed to do well. And I didn't have the muscle mass either. So I put the next couple of years from 15 to 17 into bulking and trying to put on some muscle mass so that the next time I cut down, I'd have a decent, showing on a bodybuilding stage. And so what happened after that is I never actually made it back to the bodybuilding stage. I had a couple of events in my life. The first being my gynecomastia surgery, which I may discuss on this channel in future videos. And that didn't go well. And so that was the end of 2017. That did not go well. I thought, I was honestly, prior to that surgery, thinking back, I was in the best shape of my life as far as muscle mass and level of body fat. I was just going from strength to strength in the gym. I was still obsessed with it. I was training every single day. And then when that happened, it took me a lot longer to get back into the gym than I had originally expected. Not only that, in February of 2018, I had my first child. And so from that moment on, being that, basically from the beginning of 2018 onwards, my routine that, selfishly I could have without accountability, without responsibility, that routine got just completely thrown out. And I had to try and build a new routine. And basically from the years of 2018 to 2020, that routine was non-existent. And I just basically maintained as much of that muscle that I put on over the 2 years prior as I could. And then came 2020, and I actually didn't decide straight away on doing a show, but in the end, I went from cleaning up my diet, started training consistently again, and by May, I had dropped, 4 kg, and I started looking at myself in the mirror and thought, okay, shit, I could do this. If I want to compete again, maybe I could do a show. And there was a show in September that was coming up locally here in Christchurch, and I thought, in about May or June, I thought, you know what, I'm going to aim for that. And that I did. That is when I got my shit together again, basically, from those months, from April through to September of 2020. So we're talking 3 years ago now. That is the moment in time that I always think back to now, 3 years on, that I was killing it. I was killing it. And, I was away from my kids at the time. So it's not as if that is a realistic sort of goal for me to have coming into the future. But it just goes to show that after a period of inconsistency, after looking at yourself feeling like absolute shit, it is possible to jump back on that horse and slowly but surely etch into that fat, slowly but surely see your body changing in front of you, and in the end, get back on a bodybuilding stage. Now, I've got that experience in my memory bank. I know that it's possible. And right now, sitting here right now, I feel like I'm back in like April of 2020. I really do. I feel like I can do this. I feel like it's time. And so moving forward, I don't want to compete on a bodybuilding stage again, but I do want to get really lean. And prior to this last 5 minutes of me just talking absolute shit, I was going to tell you that what I was going to try and do is find a couple of photos from that show, or at least a couple of like selfies that I'd taken in the gym leading up to the show, and just show you, what is possible, and show you what kind of physique I am constantly imagining and constantly kicking myself over losing. You know what I mean? Looking at myself in the mirror now, 3 years on, that was just prior to me picking up the bottle, okay? So now we're 3 years on, another 3 years of inconsistency, 3 years of addiction, but this love of training, this love of bodybuilding is what I always come back to. And it's going to be a really, really important and integral aspect of the next, 52 days, 51 days of this transformation. It's going to be so important. And I always think, if I was in the depths of alcohol addiction and I didn't have that prior knowledge, and I didn't have those prior experiences, and I didn't have that rock for me back when I didn't have kids and I was on my own and I was just doing my own thing, that rock for me that kept me accountable each and every day, and that kept me in great shape and kept me confident, and felt like I was having a win each and every day. Each and every time I walked into that gym, I was having a win. And for a guy who lacked maturity, and for a guy who lacked any real responsibilities apart from going to work, of course, but no kids basically. For that guy, if I can remember correctly back then, it was such a rock, and I'm going to need it to be my rock moving forward. And so every single time, you're going in for that first workout back, such as I did yesterday, it is so important, and it's just something that even in the depths of despair, I'll always somehow, some way, build the confidence to get back in there. And yesterday was such a pivotal moment, man. Getting back in the gym, enjoying the workout, convincing myself once again that you can do this, it's not all over. You can get in the best shape of your life by the time you're 33. That is my goal. I've just said it out loud for the first time. And it starts with doing shit like we're doing today. So I'm going to go to the gym. I might actually get a haircut, man, because fuck, it really does make you feel good when you get a haircut. And so we'll see how I feel after the gym. But yeah, I'm going to post these videos, pack my bag, put some caffeine in this water, and then head off. And I can't wait. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for being with me. This video's gone for like 20 minutes already, and it's not over. It's not over. So if you like the long form content, continue to come back, because that's most likely what it's going to be. Although, in saying that, each time I do sort of spew out a story like I just did, it's done now. And so unless I have another story or another thought to elaborate on, I may not, have the length of video or the length of video clip, but I'm going to try and make a video every single day on this channel for the remainder of the 90. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys after the gym as we head down to the rugby field. I chimed in with a... Yeah, sorry guys. Alright, so if I said I hadn't procrastinated quite badly today, I'd be lying. I've made it to the gym. It's 1 o'clock. At least I'm here. I'm definitely going to go in, and I'm definitely going to work out for at least an hour. I've actually come to a different gym, different Anytime Fitness, and I think a bit of variation will do. And procrastination, if it's healthy procrastination, and in this case anything that doesn't involve drinking alcohol, I will call healthy. It's not a bad thing. It's filling in the day. And filling in the day without drinking is what I need, what I so desperately need and want. And filling in the day without drinking is what I so desperately need. So it's not a bad thing, but it is 1 o'clock. I want to keep you guys up to date for anyone that is interested, and I will see you after the workout. All right. Now we're talking. Now you're seeing me in somewhat of a familiar habitat. Well, not so much familiar recently, but comfortable habitat. Down at the park, that's one set of goalposts, that's the other. It's 100 metres between. And in winter, when there's no leaves on the trees, it's actually a really unique and beautiful backdrop, which I am hoping to make use of today, because I'm going to make a video updating what's been going on over these first 3 weeks of being back in New Zealand, and I'm going to chuck it on my main channel. So for anyone who hasn't gone over and followed my main channel, please don't, because it's simply embarrassing the performance that channel is having at the moment. But not all is lost. If I do bring back some content around rugby, around American football, around natural bodybuilding, or around gynecomastia, then I've got a chance of pulling in some views and actually making some money. But in these last few years, it's been the goal of making any money from YouTube simply has to be put to the back, because you've got to, inevitably there comes a point where you realize you're not going to make as much money as you once hoped on YouTube, and so you'd better go and get that day job back. And not only that, but you'd better really think about why you want to make content, because you've got to do it because you love it. You have to. Creators easily grind out hours and hours behind the scenes to edit and upload and think about YouTube and making YouTube content. You've got to be creative. You've got to enjoy sweat equity, which is work that only you are willing to put in. No one else would put in the hours that I do behind my YouTube channel. There's no way. Why would they? Because it doesn't pay anything. But for me, I love content and I love rugby. So now I'm going to get into some. As much as I hate the thought of someone from this rugby club driving past and actually seeing me on their field with a camera, I don't like the thought of that. I think I'd at least get tooted at. Not in any, menacing way. Just, I don't know. Maybe that's my overactive mind coming off of alcohol. But actually, wasn't it me, surely. Alright guys, so what I've been doing so far is just reconnecting, seriously. I've shed a couple of tears, I'm not going to lie. Every single time I come down to the field and do anything with a rugby ball, with my boots on some grass, I always shed a tear, and it's a tear of regret. It's a tear of, holy shit, I should have been down here months ago or years ago. And it's a feeling I just never want again. Ever. I've got more to give athletically. I do. Not at the professional level, just at club level. Just give my all from age 32 to age 35. I reckon I got 3 more years. And look, I came down here when I was 28 and I thought, fuck, I've got 7 more years. When I was 29, I've got 6 more years, and so on and so forth. And it's got to the age of 32. and I'm still saying the same old fucking things to myself. No more, man, no more. Fuck. Alright guys, that'll be it for today. Let me use this opportunity to use my good camera and sign this video out. It's been a good day, it's been a fun day. I've experimented with a bit of content, but my skills have been a lot better in the past, no doubt about it. So I've got to work on that. I can't come back to YouTube if I'm not ready as far as making rugby content, but today's been awesome. It's been really good, so thank you for keeping faith in me. Thank you for following along on this journey. I don't know exactly who I'm talking to right now, but the community is growing. And if I didn't have, honestly, it's hard, it's really hard. Like when I do finally tell my full story, it's certainly not over, but to get to this point, it seems YouTube was the catalyst for me to start drinking. And just the joy that I had making reaction videos whilst having a couple of drinks. That's what started it. Then I thought, well shit, I need to make YouTube content, so I better drink all the time. And unfortunately, I just couldn't control it. It started controlling me. And funnily enough, it's a separate YouTube channel that I've created that is now helping me get off of it. And I think it's hard for me to say that but without YouTube, without this channel, I don't know if I could. So I'm so super glad that I started it. I'm so super glad, super stoked that I just put it all out there, because that's the only way. You've got to talk. It's so important to talk. So that's what we're doing. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you when I see you.